A great day to one and all. Welcome to our review, and I am Sir Kim, and I will be reviewing you about combinatorics, particularly for category one. So I hope that you will learn something from this video. All right. So if you have time, feel free to look at the questions, pause the video, and try your best to answer the questions before proceeding to the answers. I hope you're ready. Let's do this. Let's start with question or problem number one. How many line segments can be formed from the given point? So we see we have here four different points. So how many line segments do you think could we draw if we have this? So for this, we could have this one. We could have one. So I'm drawing that way. One, two, three, four, five, and six. So if you could see, I was able to connect all of them. I hope you got exactly six line segments. And if you did, congratulations. Take note, if you got less than five, meaning you were not able to connect some of them. However, if you got more than six, say seven, eight, nine, or 10, it means to show that you have connected some of them more than once. Okay? Number two, how many triangles can be formed from the given points? So in a similar way earlier, we have 4 points, but we have line segments. This time, we can connect any 3 points to form a triangle here. So the thing is, how many triangles are possible? Feel free to pause the video and give this problem a try if you wish. And I will divulge now the answer here. So if you have this one, so this is one triangle, the second triangle, the third one, and we have here the fourth one. Did you answer four? And if you did, great job. Congratulations. I hope you're doing well. And let's proceed to problem number three. How many squares are there? So take a look at this figure. If we will consider squares of all sizes, how many are there in all? So please assume for now that this is a 3 by 3 square, and all of these individual quadrilaterals that you see or four-sided figures that you see are in fact squares. And take note, they could come in various sizes. So how many squares are there in all? So for this one, we have to count them systematically. So you could see from this figure that there are small squares, like a square of side 1 unit. And take note, when we say square, it is a four-sided figure or polygon with four equal sides. So for example, that one in red is in fact a square, particularly a square with a side of 1 unit. So how many are there? We have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. So far, we have nine squares with a side of 1 unit. But be careful. We have also a square here with a side of 2 units like this. So this one. So this is the 10th already, 11th, 12th, 13th. So we were also able to have all the squares with a side of 2 units, but we also have a square of side of 3 units here, which is in fact the 14th square, right? So if you answered 14, great job. You got it right. I hope that's so far so good. Let's proceed to item number four. There are four top students, Abby, Bea, Carl, and Dave. In how many ways can Mr. Marquez choose two students from these groups? So take note, out of the four, you are going, Mr. Marquez will be choosing two of them only. And take note, in this case, order does not matter. So in how many ways can this be done, do you think? So let's list systematically. Okay? First, let's have Abby and Bea. Take note, we'll just have two. So out of the four, we have to place there two. We have Abby and Bea. Take note, can I have Bea? Should I include Bea and Abby on the list? And the answer is no, because here, order does not matter. So Abby and Bea is the same as Bea and Abby. So no need to list them again. So we could also have Abby and Carl and Abby and Dave. So we were able to have all the possibilities where Abby is involved. This time, let's proceed to Bea and Carl. And after Bea, and Bea could be paired with Carl, and Bea could also be paired with Dave. And we were able to pair Abby. I mean, we are able to have this list, and I think there's one left, which is Carl and Dave. So if you answered six, I'm so happy for you. Great job, and keep it up. Okay. So take note, make sure that you don't list something more than once. Because if you do, I'm sure your answer will be most likely incorrect. Okay? Number 5. Suppose you have 3 shirts, Men's Club, Bench, and Adidas, and 2 pairs of pants, namely Jag, Products. How many outfits consisting of a shirt and a pair of pants are there? So you will going to choose one shirt out of Men's Club, Bench, and Adidas, and one pair of pants out of Jag and Products. So in this case, there are many ways of doing this, but I will just present one way for now. So let's list the choices. On the left, we have here the 3 choices for pants, for the shirts, I mean. And on the right here are the 2 choices for uh, the pair of pants. So shirts on the left and pair of pants on the right. So let's draw a diagram like this. So if you see something like this, it means you have Men's Club as your t-shirt and Jag as your pants. So let's finish everything. That includes Men's Club. So you could also have Men's Club paddocks. Now that you were able to pair Men's Club with Bench, and I mean Men's Club with Jag and Products, you could now proceed to Bench. So far you have 2 again. This, 1, 2. You could also have in a similar way, 3. Bench Jag, 3. Bench Products is the 4th one. Adidas Jag, that's the 5th. And Adidas Products, that's the 6th. And if you answered 6 combinations in all, then you got it right. I hope you got it. And if you see something like this, there's actually a shortcut. So you could see that there are 3 choices for shirts and 2 choices for pants. And what operation should we do with 3 and 2 to get 6? If you answered multiplication, then you got it right. So that's 3 times 2, 6 possibilities in all. All right. Moving on to problem number 6. In how many ways can you answer 3 true or false questions? Note that you will answer each item by only one of true or false. Okay? So there is also a presumption here that, or we assume that you will answer all items and that each item you will answer only exactly of true or false, but not both. Okay? So only one answer for each item. So what do you think is the answer here? Okay, so let's list some of them. The first one is TTT. T stands for true. F here, by the way, stands for false. So it means from left to right, this is item number one, item number two, and item number three. So meaning true, true, true for items one, two, and three, respectively. You could also have true, true, false. So in this case, I will be writing now all the items that includes two true and one false. So you could have two true, false. You could also have TFT, FTT. So these are the three ways that the last three of them are the three ways that you could have exactly two true and one false. You could also have one true and two false. For example, you have true, false, 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 true, false, and false, false, true. And lastly, there's another possibility that you will answer all of them as false. And I believe we have not neglected or anything, or let's say we were able to list everything. And if you answered 8 ways, wow, good for you. Congratulations. Okay, so far so good. Number 7. How many two-digit numbers are possible using the digits 2, 3, 4, 5 if repetition of digits is not allowed? Okay, take note. When we say two-digit numbers, for example, like 51 or 53, it has two digits, the tens digits and the ones digit. But take note, it says here that repetition of digits is not allowed. Meaning to say, if you were able to use that digit in the tens place, then you cannot use that digit in the ones place. So for example, answers like 22. You see that 22, same digits, not allowed. So the tens digits and the ones digits should be different. So how many two-digit numbers do you think are possible? Let's list them. So if you have those numbers that start with 2, you cannot have 22 because repetition is not allowed. So you could have 23, 24, and 25. But what about those that start with the digit 3? Okay? Those that start with digit 3 includes what? You could have 32. You are not allowed 33. You could have 34 and 35. You could also begin with 4, right? And what are those? You have 42, 43, and 45. And lastly, we have one more digit, which is 5. You could begin with 5. And that gives you 52, 53, and 54. So you could see we have this systematic lists. And how many can you count? Or how many are there in all? Did you answer 12? If you did, congratulations. You got it right. Apart from systematic listing, sometimes it's hard to do this by systematic listing, right? But there is another way of doing this using what we call the fundamental counting principle. Now, we have the first slot. There are 4 options for the first slot. The first slot is for the tens digits, and the second slot is for the ones digits. So you have, for the first slot, you have 4 digits. Why 4? Because take a look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 4 options for the tens digits. However, if you placed one of them already in the tens place, for example, you place 2 as your tens place, that means you have 3, 4, or 5. That gives you 3 other options for the ones place. That's why by the fundamental counting principle, you have to multiply them. So 4 times 3, we have 12 ways. And if you got 12 again, congratulations. And of course, if you don't know this principle, somehow you have the option to list the possibilities. And you could see that these are the 12 that I listed. Thank you. Moving on to problem 8. Nasho has 3 gates. Gates 1, 2, and 3. In how many ways can you enter and exit Nasho using any gate? Meaning, you could enter gate 1 and exit at gate 1. You could enter gate 3 and exit at gate 1. If you enter gate 2, it's also possible to enter at gate 2 because you could use any gate that you like in entering and going out of Nasho. Give this problem a try. And if you are ready, check if you got the correct answer. I will reveal the answer now, including the solution, of course. Let's have this. So by systematic listing, I have 1, 1. 1, 1 means I entered at gate 1 and exited at gate 1. I could enter in gate 1 and exit at gate 2, entered at gate 1 and exit at gate 3. So these are all the possibilities where I could enter and exit Nasho, provided I entered in gate 1. I could also have entered gate 2, 1, then 2, 2, 2, 3, and lastly 3, 1, 3, 2, and 3, 3. And to make the long story short, there is actually a shortcut. You could see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 ways in all. But there is actually a shortcut here using the slot method and the fundamental counting principle. Okay. So the first slot is all about the entrance here. The second slot is all about the exit. So you could enter Nasho 3 ways. You could also exit Nasho in 3 ways. And multiplying them 3 times 3, that gives you 9 options in all. And those 9 options are these that I have listed. If you got this right, congratulations for a job well done. All right. This next problem has a similar condition, but a different problem. How about Nasho has 3 gates, 1, 2, and 3. In how many ways can you enter and exit Nasho using different gates? Meaning to say, if you enter gate 1, you should exit either at gate 2 and gate 3 and not at gate 1 because the entrance and exit have to be different. So give this problem a try. Are you ready? And if you are, let's try this. So in my case first, I listed them and I have either gate 1, entrance at gate 1, exit at gate 2, entrance at gate 1 and exit at gate 3. And the other ones are 2, 1, 2, 3. You could also have 3, 1 and 3, 2. So you see, I was able to list 6 of them, right? And to make the long story short, there is another way using the slot method, particular and your fundamental counting principle. The first slot is all about the entrance. And the second slot is all about the exit. There are 3 ways for you to enter Nasho, either at gate 1, 2, or 3. However, you only have 2 options for exit. Because for example, if you entered gate 1, then you have only gates 2 and 3, or 2 other options for your exit. That's why 3 ways to enter gate 1, 2 ways to enter gate 2, and all in all, that's 3 times 2 or 6 ways. And these are the 6 different ways that I have listed. If you got this right, congratulations again and keep on shining. Next up, problem number 10. There are three runners, A, B, and C. In how many ways can the race be finished if there are no ties for any position? So what do you think? For example, it's possible that A is the first place, B is the second place, C is on the third place. It's also possible that A is in the first place, C got second place, B is third place. So if we will note all the possibilities, how many are there in all? What do you think? Okay, let us now divulge the solution. So again, by listing, by the way, the first slot here, it's the first, for example, it's the first place. B, the second one is the second place. And the third one is the third place. Let's have it that way. So A is first place, B second place, C third place. You could also have A, C, B. Take note, this time order matters because their placement could be different. The placement of any two of them could be different. Okay? You could so these are the two possibilities where A is the first place. Here, B is first place, second place is A, and C got third place. You could also have BCA, CAB, and CBA. Do you think there are some more other possibilities? Or have we listed everything? We have listed everything. And to make the long story short, by the slot method, it's just 3 times 2 times 1. Why? 3 people could be first place. But if one of them is already first place, 2 other people could vie or compete for the second place position. And if one of these two is already second place, that means the one person that's left is automatic the third place. And by the fundamental counting principle again, we have to multiply them. So that's 3 times 2 times 1, and that gives us 6. And if you did that, or if you have this answer, great job. But if not, keep on pushing. Let's keep on learning. All right?